Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide and Q&A video. You guys send in quite a bit of questions as comments or some other things, and usually I try to actually make the best effort to answer to a lot of them on YouTube, but sometimes it actually makes sense to create a dedicated answer for some of these questions. So I was wondering maybe I could start a Q&A type of a regular thing, maybe once a month or something, gather up some of the interesting questions, comments or something like that, and reflect that back as it might be useful to some other viewers as well. So let's go. And the first question is from TrendNet18, and the question is, how well does the Supernote pen work on the Remarkable 2? So I've got two pens. I got the regular Supernote and the Heart of Metal. So let's see here, and how do they work? I mean, the main thing is, do they work? Do they work? Yes, they do. What about Heart of Metal? It should be the same. Does it work? Yes, it does. So yeah, both of them technically do work. They're not magnetic. They do not have an eraser functionality of any kind, something to keep in mind. But the most important thing to keep in mind is that the Supernote pens have ceramic tips. Now the ceramic tip, depending on its hardness, if it is harder than the surface that you're writing on, which is the screen surface or the screen protector that's built in on the Remarkable 2, one thing that you might be looking at is that maybe over an extended period of time, you might end up having some scratches of some sort. That doesn't mean that you just write one line and it becomes scratched. We're talking about if you're using it for maybe like 2-3 years and you're exclusively using these pens, then that's something that actually might be a possibility, because if the writing surface is harder than the surface that you're writing on, then the softer surface will give and will have some scratches. The next question is from Avais Mojai. Hello, thanks for an informative video. I'm thinking of buying Note Air soon. What are your thoughts on buying an Android 10 device when Android 11 is available in Note Air 2? Note Air is currently offered on discount at good price, so seems like a good option. While that might be true, if it was that the difference that you're looking at only that it's Android 10 versus 11, then it's really not such a big difference, and if it's a better price, then go for it. However, in this specific case, Note Air 1 versus Note Air 2, you're looking at a lot more differences between the devices than just the operating system. And in this particular case, I think that the price difference doesn't justify the amount of stuff and the better things that you get in the Note Air 2. So my advice would be to actually go for the Note Air 2, because cumulatively it is a significantly better and more complete device and experience than the Note Air 1, for which one you would have to get eventually a better pen, and you would eventually have to get a screen protector of some sort that offers a better writing experience, while on the Note Air 2 you get all of that out of the box and you're just ready to go. Next question is from Bruce Bailey. Voya, on the big guide you showed us how to set up your books devices. Can you get into more detail about setting up the library section where the video shows you had only storage and books areas and the formats of those areas in the storage section? In my Note Air 2 Plus, I cannot configure the library layout in the same way. Well, it's actually quite simple, but I don't know if it was described in that video or not, but here's basically what you need to do. So your default is a scan mode, right? So this is your default layout, and that's something that I don't really like. So you actually have to tap on this icon here, which is your direct library mode, and there you switch to directory mode. So there, now you are in directory mode, and you will have your the ability to actually go through your books and documents in this way. Now, the other question, which was about formats, let me just try and find something that actually has a lot of let's see, maybe test documents. Yes, this is great. So the other question was like how to show all of these things and the formats. Well, the formats is basically by default they are shown. As you can see, .pdf and yeah, others you cannot see, because if your document name is too long, then it will be truncated and you will just have ... However, if you do want to see the full text including the format, then you can just tap on this more icon here and you can go to list mode, and then you can see your .epub, .pdf, etc. Furthermore, you can also use sort by, and then you can actually sort by type, right? So then you can have sort by type, and first now I have my only EPUB is listed first, and then all of the PDFs are listed here. You don't see the covers, but you see everything else. So that's pretty much the extent of setting things up, and this is working. This is me running the OS 3.2.3, the latest one, on my Note Air 1, so the experience is identical on any device that's actually using that OS. The next one is not so much a question as it is, I think, a really interesting comment and a really cool use case scenario for one of these devices, and it has to do with my review for the Buxnova Air C, which I'm not a fan of, but Kees Verhagen, he says, thanks, have bought it. It will go into my tank bag with a lot of maps on it and books on a 1-year motorcycle journey. So freaking cool. The device I will use for larger map view. It will be better readable than a tablet, and in the evening I can read in my chair or laying down in a hammock. Created on USB stick with a few books and other content. Really freaking cool and an amazing use case scenario. I wish you luck on your journey, safe travels, and lots of memorable moments. Next question is from Gokhan CVS. Hello Voya, thank you for the video. My question is not about the video. Is Huawei MatePad paper in your pipeline of future videos, let's say in 2 months on the horizon? Thank you. Well, let me answer that question by saying yes, it is definitely on the horizon. Next question is from Yanka. I cannot pronounce this last name, unfortunately, I apologize. Hi Voya, do you think Boox will launch a new 13.3-inch e-reader this autumn? I certainly hope so, and I really hope that this time we get Max Air instead of, or Lumi Air, sorry, instead of another Max Lumi, whatever it is. I hope that they abandoned the old design and the old case and everything, and that we actually get an 13.3 device of the Air series. That's something that I was hoping for and actually expecting last year. Didn't happen. Unfortunately, we got Max Lumi 2, which is like a very confusing device. But hopefully 2022, maybe we get it. What else? My Lumi 3? No, I hope it's going to be Lumi Air. I'm thinking about buying one of the one for the size. I have eyesight problems, but it would be good to know if they're planning to address the issues you mentioned. I have no problems with the design. Actually, I quite like it, but the glare and the fingerprint smudges would bother me. Thank you for your answer. I totally agree. I do, unlike you, I do have the issues with the design. No magnets or anything like that, and the unnecessary button. But yes, the smudges, the fingerprint smudges, and the glareness of the screen are most definitely a problem. And while those could be addressed on the Lumi 2 by buying and applying an additional screen protector, you are actually worsening the performance. You are degrading the picture quality, and you are adding distance between the tip of the writing pen and the screen itself. So therefore, you are actually, by improving the factory problems, you are worsening overall performance. Therefore, that's a compromise, and Lumi is supposed to be a flagship device, and that's my main problem. Lumi 2 is not a flagship device. So What do I think? I think that we will see a new refresh of the devices for the autumn, as this is something that Books is basically regularly doing every autumn, but they are not refreshing the 13.3-inch lineup every autumn. There have been some, skippable years. So we'll see. One main question here is that, are we going to see color range as well? And is maybe the only 13.3-inch device, if they're offering one, is it going to be only a color, or will we have also a monochromatic version? I don't know. Why I'm posing that question is because E-Ink has developed and placed on the market their new lineup of Kaleido panels, which include 7.8-inch, 10.3-inch, and 13.3-inch sizes. So we'll have to wait and see. My hope is that we're gonna get finally a Max Lumi monochromatic one this autumn. This next one is not a question, it's more rather a comment, and it's from Lincoln Smith. He says, I'm a medium to light user of Remarkable 2, but I know that there will be situations in the near future where I will need it more. I planned for them, and not even the acquirement of the iPad Pro would stop me from continuing to use it. I love it. It simply replaces all of the paper for me. Well, good for you. I'm happy that you are happy with your Remarkable 2 purchase. Next one is a comment on my criticism and coverage of the Re-Inkstone R1 and the Topjoy Butterfly devices that are not even out yet and don't actually exist, and it's for over a year, a promise and a failed delivery. And the comment says, from Philibert Bon, I am disappointed you are so keen criticizing Re-Ink's delays. I'm not keen, I'm just reporting on the delays, and I'm factually reporting what is actually happening with those devices without using any sprinkles on top or anything like that. I ordered a Supernote and it took 4 months at least to get it shipped because of the very same reasons Re-Ink evoked. China, zero COVID. Come on, Voya, you're smart enough to avoid such facile stances. Well, thank you for thinking so highly of me, first of all. But second of all, I am smart enough to actually make a difference and notice a difference between ordering a finished device that thousands of users already have in their hands and have been using for well over a year and a half, such as a Supernote device, whichever you ordered, was it A5X or A6X. And while the delay is really bad, and yes, everybody in China was affected by the global shutdown, especially when Shanghai was actually shut down, nothing was coming out or in China for several months. That's very, very true. But here's the big difference. If you make an order for a Supernote and you wait for 4 months and then you say, well, screw that, I don't want to deal with that, you get your money back. On Re-Inkstone and Topjoy Butterfly, nobody gets their money back regardless of what happens. Second of all, Supernote was continually communicating why the delays are there, reporting on the delays, and actually updating their users on a weekly basis. While Re-Inkstone and Topjoy Butterfly would allow months to pass without a single peep, and when they would report, it would all be, again, some falsehoods or at least hopes based on inexperience or untruths, at least. So that, I think, is a very big difference, and I think it's not the same thing to compare order something and delay in shipping while you already have, at any given point in time, ability to recall your order, get your money back, and you know what you're getting is a proven device, whereas on the other hand, you have people who don't even have assembled functioning devices, have completely broken OS experiences, do not respond to their users, do not respond to anyone, and are simply bordering on the line of a complete scam. And then equaling those two, no, the COVID reasons do not justify the problems that Re-Inkstone and Topjoy Butterfly have had now for well over a year. And the final question for today's Q&A session is from Eva Ozola. Dear My Deep Guide, when will planner for 2023? Well, I'm happy to say that the My Deep Guide 2023 is developed and is basically kind of complete. So everything is supposed to function as I would like it to, but now it is going through the testing phase where I have to manually go through each of the almost 23,000 links now and make sure that they are all working. So basically this is now the final stage, the quality assurance stage, and once everything is 100% working and passes the quality assurance stage, then it comes out and it's going to be placed on the market, and hopefully that's going to be early September. So that's when the MDO 2023 can be expected. I hope you liked the video and I hope you like this new format, and also please do shoot down questions, any kind of questions that you may have and that you would like me to address. Then you can shoot them down. The best thing is as a comment below this video, because then it's much easier for me to collect it that way and not overlook a potentially important or a valuable question that you may have. Also, let me know if you like the format, if you have some suggestions of how to kind of improve it or not, as it is a fresh format and a completely new setup with different cameras and things and switching. I would appreciate any kind of feedback that you may have. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye.